Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRFBets race of the day for Sunday, December the 30th. It's race number 4 at Santa Anita, and it's the $75,000 Blue Northern Stakes for 2-year-old fillies. You can bet this Santa Anita card with a DRFBets account and the 300% deposit match that comes along with it. Sign up at bets.drf.com. Let's meet the field of 2-year-old fillies getting set to go a mile for $75,000 in the Blue Northern Stakes. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the race of the day event page at drf.com. Download them and handicap along with me. I'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, Lady Prance, the 5-2 morning line favorite, and a strong contender to be sure. She has already multiple stakes placed at this 1-mile distance in Southern California, and you can draw a big line through her most recent start. She was 62-1 for a reason when overmatched in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. Class relief for Lady Prance, a good inside post position, and a big pace scenario should really work in her favor, and she projects to be running hard in the stretch. Lady Prance, a very solid contender. The number 2 is Splashy Kisses, trying turf for the first time for trainer Doug O'Neill. The sire Blame, I like the Blames on turf. They win 10% of the time first time on the grass, but I think he does good work with his turf horses. The Dam won twice on the turf in Great Britain. The Dam's a half-to-a stakes winning dirt horse and a multiple grade 2 place dirt horse. She has foaled one turf runner in Japan that failed to win, but if you go way back in this pedigree, the third Dam was a Group 2 stakes winner in France. So I think there's enough turf for this horse to succeed, and she's been in some very tough spots in her last 2 races. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, where she was 65-1, and the Grade 2 Pocahontas, where she took on the streaking Serengeti Empress, who won that race by almost 20 lengths. This is a good spot for Splashy Kisses. Whether she's good enough to beat some nice turf fillies is a different story, but I wouldn't be surprised if she improves on the surface switch. Let's take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector, because there is speed in spades, beginning with the number 3, Data Storm Kitty, who is stretching out from 5.5 furlongs to a mile, and this horse has speed at 4.5 furlongs, where she was able to make the lead in her career debut on dirt. She just pounded horses at Los Alamitos on the main track to win by 7 last time out, and while she's 0-2 on the turf, she's run well on the surface, and I'm really not that concerned about the distance. The Dam's a half-sister to a Grade 2 placed runner at 1 1/16. The second Dam won the Delaware Handicap, I believe, at 1 1/4. Distance is there. I do wonder if Data Storm Kitty, though, is going to find this stretch out in distance, 2.5 furlongs with other speeds, stepping up off a maiden win, to be just a little bit too daunting. I think she'll run okay, maybe better than her odds, but I think a win might be just out of reach. The 4 is Cedars of Lebanon, an allowance winner, a multiple allowance winner, over the turf at Ireland sprinting, ran in the Grade 3 Jimmy Durante on November the 24th, and there were a lot of horses in that race trying to come from the back of the pack that just didn't get the right trip, and maybe Cedars of Lebanon was one of those horses. I wonder about the distance for her. I think she'll get the mile. She's won at 7 furlongs over yielding ground in Ireland. I'm still a little bit up in the air about how she classes up to this group of 2-year-old fillies in Southern California, but Cedars of Lebanon would benefit from a quick pace up front and a traffic-free trip. The 5 is Colonial Creed, and this is a half-sister to the stakes-winning dirt router Mo d'Amour, but this filly is raced exclusively on the turf, and she got it done last time out, going this distance at Del Mar, when she was able to win on the lead, and I thought she set a legitimate pace. Her division of maiden special weights going 8 furlongs at Del Mar on November the 10th were completed in 1:35.38. The other division, almost 2 seconds slower, 1:37.47. Colonial Creed ran fast and well that day. The question is, will she be able to sit off the pace? Because I'm not sure she's as fast as the 3 Data Storm Kitty or the 6 Courteous. If she can show the ability to sit, she might be in the catbird seat sitting 3rd, getting ready to make the jump on the leaders and get the jump on the true closers turning into the stretch. I think she's a contender for Richard Baltas. The 6 is Courteous, going out for trainer Dick Mandela. The second Dam was a Grade 3 stakes winner on the turf. This is the female family of Academy Award, who way back in the day was a really strong turf horse. I believe he might have won the Manhattan, and this horse has just improved by leaps and bounds since being switched to the turf, winning going down the hill on October the 6th, despite being a little bit green in that first turf start, and then last time out in the Jimmy Durante, setting a legitimately fast pace and only being run down late by a Mid-Atlantic invader named Elsa. Courteous Cedars ran really well in that spot, and it'll be interesting to see how Joe Talamo rides this filly. Will he try to place her on the lead as she's been in her last 2 races? Will he try to sit off the number 3 Data Storm Kitty stretching out and try to get the true first run? We'll see what we get from Courteous, but she's on the improve. The 7 is Giza Goddess. We have a formulator fact for her trainer, John Sheriffs. Over the past 4 years with last out maiden winners on turf, Sheriff wins 30%, hits the board 70%, and has a positive ROI of $2.80. This pedigree is geared more to synthetic and dirt. The dam's a half to the Pamplemousse, who was on the Derby Trail as a 3-year-old on synthetic surfaces way back when in Southern California. But this filly handled the turf no problems at all on December the 1st, a pace-pressing winner. Thought all things considered she had a pretty decent trip. She prompted a 60-1 shot going into the first turn. Down the backstretch she was in between a 60-1 shot and a 50-1 shot. 2 hopeless long shots. No sweat to put those horses away and put distance away from the rest of the field turning into the lane. But she went on quite impressively to win by 5 with an 81 Beyer speed figure. Giza Goddess, another one like Colonial Creed, though, that might have to sit off some fast ones. And then the key to this race is the number 8 Thriving. She's 8-1 on the morning line, and please take the grade 3 Jimmy Durante, her North American debut, with a little grain of salt. She had been working very well leading up to that race, and she just had no chance to run. She was checked severely on the far turn down towards the inside, and after that, the jockey just took care of her. This is a filly that ran in some nice races overseas before coming into the Jeff Mullins barn. Mullins, of course, winning 2 major stakes races on opening day at the Santa Anita meet. The dam's a half to a millionaire on turf, so there's pedigree as well. And Thriving is the kind of filly that's going to get some pace, and she's going to run late. Is she good enough to outfinish Lady Prance and some of the others? I'm not sure, but I expect a much better effort from Thriving. And if she goes off close to the 8-1, you might want to consider her on the win end. My top pick in this race is the 5, Colonial Creed. I'm hoping that she can be patient this time around under Rafael Bejarano, and that she can relax off the speeds of the 3 and the 6 and maybe get the jump on these closers turning into the lane. I like the way she won last time out, and all 3 of her route races on turf are good. She is 4-1 on the morning line. I am going 5, 7, and 8 in the $75,000 Blue Northern Stakes, the feature at Santa Anita on December the 30th. Bet that card with the DRFBets account. You won't be sorry because you access a 300% deposit match at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the Blue Northern, 1:32 Pacific. Good luck.